All right, and the race has started here at this 2023 Southern Showcase Women's 5K. Right now we've got Ole Miss right here in the front middle, right in front of us. We've got an Auburn competitor over to the right. As we zoom out a little bit, try to capture more of the field for you here. We're going to get this stopwatch going here in just about 8 seconds or so. All right. All right, we've got a good start here, good clean start this morning here in the women's 5K. And similar to the men's race, we've got Ole Miss up front with 4 runners and followed up with some Middle Tennessee, Tulane sprinkled in there, Auburn. The only difference this time around is it looks like we have an Alabama competitor running up front as well with this lead group. Right now, this is Tulane's Gemma Rabollo of Tulane right now to the early lead. This is Doris of Alabama in the front here. And we've got Jean Coetzee of Auburn University. We've got Faith Nyathi of Middle Tennessee State and Purity Songa of Middle Tennessee State. And contingency of Ole Miss runners on our left, their right of the course here. So coming up here on about 1,200 meters into the race right now. As you can see, just under 4 minutes on the clock, so we get a better idea of how these ladies are running than you did in the men's race because we did not have the stopwatch going. We apologize for that. These ladies on the right-hand side here, I'm not quite sure they understand that they're turning right over here. This is Jean Coetzee of Auburn University, Doris of Alabama, Middle Tennessee State competitors, and then the 4 Ole Miss ladies to the early lead right now. up on the first mile here. Just a few moments. .516 or so through that first mile. Already created a little bit of separation here early on in this race, just past the mile. Looks like there's about a 10-meter gap here from the first four ladies to the Ole Miss contingency, with the 1-2 lane runner in that group to round out the top 9 or so. Again, this is a one-loop course here on the women's 5K. The first mile is mostly downhill or flat. Second mile is probably the most difficult mile of the course. No significant climbs, but it is kind of a gradual climb the whole second mile. Followed up by a short downhill, and then the final climb of the day before you get about 1,000 meters of downhill to flat running into the finish chute at John Hunt Park. These ladies are going to be making a right-hand turn here, so they need to be moving over again. The Auburn runner seems to have the path there. Okay, the ladies are following suit there. Coming up on about the halfway point of the course here in just a few moments. Got a little bit of a climb here. Fans have come out this morning to support these runners. Of course, John Hunt Park this year will be the host of the National Junior College Cross Country Championships in November. So right now it is Auburn and Alabama running 1-2 side by side right now. This is Doris and Jean having a little Iron Bowl rivalry here to start off in September. We are at about the halfway mark of the course right now, and these two runners, Jean and Doris here, are creating a little bit of separation back to the Middle Tennessee State competitors. Looking strong right now. This is Doris of the University of Alabama, who just opened up a 10-meter gap in a matter of seconds here over Jean of Auburn University. And then there's another 20-meter gap or so back to the Middle Tennessee State competitors. So we're about 400 meters out from the 2-mile mark right now. Panning back, we've got Alabama, Auburn, 2 Middle Tennessee State competitors, the contingency of 4 Ole Miss competitors, 2 lane to round out the top 9 to 10 runners there. 10 minutes on the clock, just shy of 2 miles here. Once we cross over the mats here, you'll get to see the split here for Doris, as she has now opened up about a 30-meter gap or more over Jean of Auburn University. All right, coming up on this 2-mile mark here. All right, that is Doris through in about 10:34, so she's held about the same pace here on this second mile, and the second mile is slower than the first mile. So now we've got this downhill section before we make the final climb of the day here at John Hunt Park. Always great crowds here at John Hunt Park. It's a very spectator-friendly course. You can get from mile 1 to mile 2 and back to the finish with relative ease. If you're a spectator, you don't have to be super fit or run the same distance as the competitors do to enjoy watching the event. All right, now we have Doris making her final climb of the day up this fairly long hill. It's gradual, but it is a longer climb. You can really get some perspective on how far back down the rest of the competitors are here as Doris makes this final climb. And once you're at the top of this hill, you're about 1,000 meters out from the finish here on this 5K course. This intersection here on the course, it's a tough section again, as I mentioned in the men's race, to run a really good tangent. Again, this course is 10 meters wide at its most narrow point, so it is a little difficult at times to run those tangents perfectly. She's doing a pretty good job here. She does have a little bit of a sweeping left-hand turn. She's about a half mile to go from the finish line right now. And right now it is all Doris of the University of Alabama, as she has now opened up about a 75 to 100 meter lead over second place. Looking very strong, smooth, relaxed. All right, about 500-600 meters to go here in this women's race. It is still all Doris of the University of Alabama coming down this nice section here. If you've got anything left in the tank, you can really let it roll on this section of the course. It is still Jean of Auburn University back into second position this morning, and then the battle for third is on. It's anybody's race there. You've got about 5 to 6 competitors there, all battling for third place. Right here, we are 400 meters out. 400 meters out for Doris at the University of Alabama. And she has put on a clinic here in the second half of this race and run really, really strong. 15:20 on the clock right now, just over 200 meters to go, so this is going to be an excellent time. She's going to be 16 low for this 5-kilometer race on this fast but fair course. It is legitimately 5 kilometers, no short courses here at John Hunt Park. And this is Doris of the University of Alabama cruising in to victory. About 150 to go. And this is Doris coming through at 16:11 for the women's title of the Southern Showcase here at beautiful John Hunt Park, hosted by Jacksonville State University. We're going to back it on up here and see if we can't get some additional footage of the finish line here. Thanks for tuning in to the 2023 Southern Showcase hosted by Jacksonville State University. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the coverage, and we'll be back in about a month or so as we stream the coverage of the Randolph High School Invitational here at John Hunt Park, and look forward to having you tune in there. Appreciate it, and you guys have a wonderful day.
There it is.